just wanked 7 times on your tits, you're so hot.
So who cares? Why not do your own thing and let them say what they want?
What's up, guys? Welcome to a new Friday night mail. That's like, what, 5 in a row now? This one, however, is going to be slightly different because instead of actually opening any packages, we don't have any. We're going to be showing off our sponsor because for the first time, we actually have a sponsored segment in a video, which is pretty cool. And of course, it's going to be some cool sex toys, which I know you guys love, and also it's the only types of companies who are willing to sponsor me. So today's sponsor is going to be Fauvel, a sex toy company. You can find them at fauvela.com. I'll also have some links down in the description for you to find some money off, to shop their Amazon store and their website, whatever you want if you like these two products. Before we get into that, the other way that this is going to be a very different Friday night mail is that I have a bunch of comments. I think 14 in total. Questions from you guys that I'm going to be going through because when I asked you guys for questions last week, you guys delivered. In fact, I didn't even go through all of them. I just picked the top ones. And I got a fourth of the way through the comments and I'm like, holy shit, this is way too many questions. But keep in mind that this is a little bit different. It's more like a Friday night Q&A than it is a Friday night mail. And if you like this kind of thing, when I am devoid of packages, maybe I can do this more often. I know you guys ask me to do more Q&As, even though I do Q&As every single Friday when I do F&M. It still is kind of nice to dedicate a whole video to you guys asking me the hard-hitting questions, which are going to be what we're going over today. Before we get into the sponsored portion of this video, I'd like to shout out the winner of this week's giveaway, which is Pekka. Congratulations, Pekka L. I didn't do that good enough. Congratulations, Pekka baby. I hope you enjoy your Amazon gift card and maybe, throw some of that my way for a gift or something. Just kidding, you can do whatever you want with it. But I still do feel like you got this through nefarious means. If you guys don't know, Pekka is Finnish King, one of my main mods on Twitch. One of my favorite people in the entire world, but also one of the people I hate the most in the entire world. Love you, Pekka. If you guys want to sign up for this week's giveaway, link as always is in the description down below, as well as the links for our sponsor, Fauvel. Before we get into the many questions we have today, let's go ahead and check out some Fauvel products. This is called the Cat App Vibrator. You can actually get an app on your phone to play with this vibrator, and from the outside, it really does not look like it's any kind of sex toy. It just has a one-eyed cat, and it says Nani Cat on it. On the side, it says Monster Pub from the Monster Baby series. The free app is called Monster Pub that you can get on the App Store, on Google Play, or on the Apple App Store. So I took off the plastic wrap and here we have the cat. The cat is more shiny and glossy while the rest of it is matte. It's a very cute box, slides out like so. It says on the side it comes with the vibrator, age 18 plus. It has a charger and it has a bag. I'm excited to see if this is actually something fun to play with because I like cute sex toys. Okay, so we popped the top off and it has this little sticker that we have now breached, and inside is a kitten. It's literally a kitten. It's a kitten with a tongue, and the on switch is a piece of yarn that's attached like a tail. So I think this is kind of like a Benoit ball or some kind of Kegel ball where you put it inside of you and this dangles out and then you're supposed to kind of keep it within you, and that strengthens your pelvic floor, which makes your pussy tighter, and it also vibrates like a regular vibrating bullet sex toy. Very cute. This is one of the most unique sex toys I've ever seen. It has some charging already because it's vibrating. Very loud inside the box. Let's take it out. Very quiet outside of the box. A pussy that goes inside your pussy with a little off and on switch here, but the coolest part is that it has a QR code on the back and all of the instructions needed to put Bluetooth connectivity between this thing and your phone. So all you have to do is download the free app called Monster Pub, which I'm gonna do right now because it seems pretty cool. But before I do, I just wanna show you that it does have a little carrying bag that looks like this. And this is the charging cable, pretty standard for sex toys that are waterproof. But enough of that. Let's check out this app. So I downloaded the app, which doesn't have a lot of really good reviews. It says that the Bluetooth connection isn't that great, but we're gonna see for ourselves because there were a few decent reviews as well. It's cool because it looks like there's a way to do really long distance connectivity, maybe through Wi-Fi or something, which is something I've actually been looking for. But on top of that, you can do Kegel exercises, you can do a bunch of stuff. So I'm really excited about this to just see the scope of this thing. Maybe the app won't work that well, but I'm already pretty enamored with the cute little cat. So now it's telling me to turn on Monster Pub. It says it's connected. I got a new special skin for my cat. I can record my menstrual cycle. Okay, so it's gonna play a vibration that I chose on my phone. This is a vibration that someone chose and uploaded to the app, and I played it, which is really cool. And they made it by using their fingers on here like so. it's just doing it for me. And so far I haven't lost connection to Bluetooth, and I don't have to go into my Bluetooth settings. It just sets it up directly in the app, which is cool. And as you can see on the app here, because I can't record anymore on my phone, because my phone's storage is literally all the way full, but it shows you that you can do different Kegel exercises, and it supposedly can track how strongly you're contracting. And it gives you like a score. This is gonna be fun to play with. I think it is a little bit glitchy, but at the same time, this kind of technology paired with sexual health, reproductive health, and just a good time in sex altogether is very interesting to me and very attractive. Okay, so the next item we have is a male masturbator with 40 different kinds of playing, a pause function, it self-adjusts, fantastic vibration sense, it has magnetic rechargeable lithium batteries, and a combination of playing methods. And this is the Mioi male masturbator, and it says at the bottom, erotic person is more charming. Miggy is your happy, intimate friend. So this thing is called Miggy, I guess. I don't think it's very attractive to fuck a Miggy, but it will be very incognito if you're like, oh, I'm going to clean my Miggy or something. People will think it's some kind of Irish slang. Don't you guys ever say that I don't try out male products for you? Because I have Jay try out tons of masturbators. At the top, it has a little piece of tape that you have to take off so you know it's hermetically sealed and no one's gotten in there and dirtied it with their nasty, grubby little fingers. Open it up, pull it out, and this thing is pretty big. So the first thing we have here is in an overwrap, the actual masturbator itself, and holy shit, look at this thing. This is heavy duty. We have some beads that are probably gonna move around to stimulate all areas of the shaft of your cock. Open it up here, and it's got jelly clear see-through lips, so you can see if anything's in there. However, I'm not sure how this works, but it feels as though it's gonna be a little small, for Jay at least. We shall see if it actually adjusts. Maybe it moves back. Oh my god, look at that thing go! You can change the speed at which it jerks you. This is seriously legit. Shit like this really makes me wish I had a fucking penis. Not like I already don't wish that, but still. This is fucking badass. You can pause it. This thing is crazy. What else does it have going on? This is so high tech. Like, I like this window too because I can actually like get really close to it, like while Jay is using it or something, and like watch. I don't know, for me that just sounds hot. But let's see what else we have in the box here. So you recharge it with a little USB cable, and it comes with this wand for easy reinstallation after you take it out and then put it back in, so you don't have to spend a lot of time just kind of refastening all the soft parts. Here is the charging cable. It's like a simple little, it looks like magnetic charging cable, which is cool. Very high tech. This is probably the most high tech masturbator I have ever seen. Very cool looking, very, I don't know, like sci-fi almost. I feel like I've already said that, but it really is sci-fi looking. I feel like until you take the top off, no one would ever really know what it is, but it is also cool enough that people would probably inquire, and then it would be a little awkward. You'd have to say like, oh, it steams my bracelets, because it kind of looks like those beads inside her bracelets. I feel like this is gonna be great for the menfolk. Thank you for sponsoring this video, Fauvel, and sending me these products. I'm very intrigued with them, and I will be trying both the Kegel weight and this on Jay. I hope you guys enjoyed this portion of the video, and of course, as everyone always says, supporting my sponsors supports me, so if you want to check them out, links will be in the description down below. Once again, thank you, Fauvel, for sponsoring this video. Let's get into questions. Okay, so we have a plethora of questions from you guys, and I'm gonna keep some of them brief, others I'm gonna delve deeper into, obviously whatever takes up the correct amount of time for a video. Okay, so starting off, we have a question from Princess T Gaming and Vlogging. She says, question, do you prefer water-based lube or silicone? I personally prefer water-based. I used to use solely water-based lubricant, but it evaporates really quickly, especially here in Vegas. So what I do with Jay in particular, because we don't use condoms, is I use fractionated, all-natural, organic coconut oil. It comes in a little pump thing, it lasts a lot longer, and it makes your pussy and like the surrounding areas that you get it on really soft, because coconut oil is like the be-all end-all of oils. You can put it in your hair, your skin, you can cook with it, it's really great. But if you look it up, just coconut oil is really good for you, and I know a lot of porn stars use it instead of baby oil in their scenes and stuff. And it looks great as a shining agent for your skin too. My hair is blonde says, Tara, do you have a video about why you started making videos on YouTube? It would be interesting to hear about how and why you started. I haven't really made a whole video because it's a really simple answer to that question. I started the gaming channel, which was my first channel, because I was already streaming on Twitch, and I thought it was like a logical way to upload like videos and VODs and have people watch them, because YouTube was more about the highlights and the videos that stay up forever, and Twitch in the beginning and still pretty much now is all about the live content that goes away after a while. The reason I made this channel, the vlog channel, was because I was fucking Toby Turner, and Toby Turner had a bunch of channels, and I was like, well, might as well have a gaming channel and a vlog channel, and then this vlog channel just kind of blew up. That's pretty much it. It just made sense and I've loved doing it ever since, except for the editing. I hate the editing. Sam M, hey baby girl, she says, awesome black cat costume. My question for you would be, are you big into cosplaying? Have you ever gone to a Comic-Con dressed up, or would you like to start going to Comic-Cons and getting into cosplay? I did, I think, exactly 3 cosplays in my entire life, one of which I created almost entirely myself. It was an original design, and anything that I bought I also altered. And that was my Sexy Mario cosplay that I wore to GlamourCon, which is like a modeling / porn star / Playboy meetup event. I was the only one dressed as any kind of game character, but I've always loved being sexy and then combining that sexuality and that sexual artistic outlet with my love for gaming and nerd culture. So that's something I did even before I made any gaming content whatsoever. As far as being into cosplay, for me, the big deterrent is the fact that I don't like buying costumes, but I also hate sewing. I had a sewing machine that my mom bought me and I was just awful with it. Even though I made some cool stuff, I would fuck up so much and have to have people detangle things and have to redo things, and it just got to the point where it was so monotonous. So that portion of it is not something I enjoy, but maybe down the line I'll like pay someone to make me just like perfectly fitting cosplay and start going to events again. But that requires me to have my perfect body. I wouldn't enjoy it as much in the state that I'm in now, in between having a fat body like I did a few months ago and being really fit, which I am not yet. But trust, I will get back into modeling, not professionally, but as a hobby, as well as cosplaying and just showing off everything about my body once I'm 100% happy with it. I know you're thinking like, oh, Tara showing off tits and ass, that's not gonna be annoying, that can never be annoying. It'll be annoying. Marilyn Mercury says, question. If the concept of Sword Art Online were real, but you had the ability to choose the game in which you could play in, what game would you choose and why? Okay, so for those of you who aren't anime fans, Sword Art Online is basically like an MMO that you can put a headset on and then you go into a virtual world, but your body's basically like useless outside, and then they get stuck in that world and that world can kill them. I think... So you only have one life, like it's like permadeath? The logical side of me would want to choose something easy like Stardew Valley. You don't really die in Stardew Valley. Your crops die, you don't die, and it's very cute. You choose a bae, you can date the bae, you can get married, you can be gay, it doesn't matter, you can have fun. But the competitive gamer in me would want it to be something like Dark Souls. No, Bloodborne, because Bloodborne's gothic feel is much sexier, I don't know. Yeah, Bloodborne, fuck it. Half Man, Half Amazing says, question. Does Jason Momoa fit your qualifications as a good-looking guy? Yes, he does. He's tall, he's usually buff. But what really made me most turned on by him is his performance as Khal Drogo, fucking and raping the very sexy and very light-haired like me, Khaleesi. That was one of the hottest scenes in television history ever, and a lot of girls agree, even though they are so against my video on having rape fantasies. Corey Kindle says, I'm into all kinds of music, but I'm definitely the black guy who listens to music like Smashing Pumpkins, Slipknot, Foo Fighters, Toadies, The Darkness, Stone Temple Pilots, Soundgarden, I could go on and on. It sucks now because finding new rock groups to get into is extremely tedious these days. When I actually do find one, they never stick around long enough. Are there any bands you recommend? So instead of recommending you bands that you've already heard about, because as you said, you can go on and on, I would say creating a playlist on Spotify, using Spotify specifically because I don't know any of the other like listening services, of all of your favorite bands and all of your favorite songs. My playlist is like fucking 1,000 songs long, and if you actually go onto my Twitch stream and you type in like !playlist, you'll actually get a link to that playlist. So if you do want to see all of my recommendations for songs, you can do that. But I think the better way of going about it is just making that playlist and then actually using the radio feature. The radio feature will start compiling similar bands to the ones that you've been listening to and suggesting them to you, and it'll make like a radio version of your playlist with new songs and things you might not have on that playlist to peruse. Finding non-rap, non-pop songs is pretty hard. I usually rely on you guys or Jay to find them, but I think this is a good method too, and it's one that I haven't tried because I don't have a lot of patience, but I think it might be good for someone who's legitimately looking for new music that's similar to their already established tastes. Good luck, let me know if it works, maybe I'll start using it. Jumpman says, I've got 2 questions for your next F&M. 1, do you like knife play, as in the kink? And 2, if you could perform any science experiment with unlimited funding and no morals he means, holding you back, what would you try to figure out and why? And he says, P.S. you are honestly one of the smartest YouTubers I've ever seen. Oh, I love your rants on philosophy and society as a whole. You make me think. That's awesome. I love hearing that. Thank you so much. I love hearing that almost as much as I love hearing, I just wanked 7 times on your tits, you're so hot. They kind of go hand in hand, but one I get complimented on less, so it's nice to hear it. Thank you. Do I like knife play? I'm assuming knife play is just like being really scary with a knife, like, oh, I'm gonna cut you up or something. Kind of like a dominance rape fetish thing. I'm not sure. If I leave here, I'm gonna lose all my questions and my spot, so I'm not gonna move from there. But you can correct Correct me in the comments down below if I'm wrong. I like anything that seems dangerous but doesn't leave any marks. And anything that doesn't require an immense amount of like role playing. Like I like it when it feels and seems real. If we have to like really dress up into something that's like a shitty costume, or we have to do some kind of like safe word, and I know it's really crazy for me to say that I don't like safe words, but whatever, it takes me out of it, you know? Like you can tell it when I really don't want it anymore. Like if I was into the hardcore BDSM role playing stuff where I'm a really good actor or something, then maybe, but I don't do that. Anyway, yeah, I would try it. Why not? Seems fun, as long as I don't get any actual scars. And the second one, the science experiment with no morals attached. I love eugenics. I don't understand any of the moral implications for eugenics and stuff like that, and I don't know. Cloning, I think that would be a great thing to do. Cryogenically freezing someone, bringing them back to life. Using baby stem cells and stuff from aborted fetuses. All of that stuff I'm 100% okay with, and I would definitely like to see people invest more time and money and energy into that kind of thing. Using stem cells for beauty purposes, rejuvenation of like lost hair follicles. I think the one thing that the Nazi regime had going well for them, aside from, you know, cars and other forms of government-controlled capitalism, is that they were harsh in their science experiments. If we could take out the genes, the specific genes that make you a certain way or give you a certain disease, why the fuck would we not be doing that? I don't even care if there's any kind of moral implications. I'm sure there are people out there that would give consent for this kind of thing. All right, moving on. Soul Reaper 2078 says, looking hot as black cat. But I think the sunglasses under the mask works, or you can try outlining the outside with styrofoam. But I do have a weird question. How many fingers are uncomfortable? Love the videos as always. Anything more than 2 fingers, I don't like. I'm not partial to being fingered because I feel like the fingers are so short, and even if you go like this, you just get like a conical type shape. And then if I'm being fingered by a girl or myself with long nails, which I don't have right now, but sometimes I do, it just doesn't feel good. It feels too proddy, too much like going to the gynecologist and getting your pap smear once a year. So I'm not really a fan of fingering, but yeah, I would say 3 this way is definitely not fun for me. Obviously everything's doable slowly. I could probably work up to being fisted, never have. But every time when I was younger, and now if I ever do try to experiment with fingers, it's always 2. I think what I want to do with the black cat mask, by the way, is I think I want to just cut the holes bigger, because it was really just like the black cat mask is supposed to have like really open eye holes, and it just doesn't, and it doesn't accommodate my big eyes and my eyelashes. Okay, so Kelsey B says, question. You mentioned in a previous videos that you don't want children at all. With that being said, would you ever consider the surgery of getting your tubes tied? What are your thoughts on it? Sorry for the weird question, just genuinely curious. No problem. Weird questions are always welcome. In fact, if you guys want to post comments for the next FNM, post that shit down in the comments. Feel free to be 100% open. Nothing offends me. Nothing is too much for me. I promise. So anyway, I have been trying to get my tubes tied or some form of sterilization since I was like 15 years old, I think. I've always known I didn't want kids. When I was 15, they told me I had to wait until I was 25 and have had 2 kids in order to even consider it, which doesn't make any sense to me, because why wait till 25 if I've had 2 kids? It's like they really just want to put it off and not have it happen to you. And I'll let you in on a little secret about Planned Parenthood. Planned Parenthood will always tell you this because they want to make money off of your abortions and your birth control. They make a little bit of money off of birth control, but they definitely want to make money off of abortions. I know this sounds really right-wingy and like conspiracy theorist almost, but there's so much evidence to back up the fact that they make most of their money off of abortions, and they don't want to take you out of that market, so they're not going to provide for you information on how to get sterilized and properly. That's probably why, because I used to go to Planned Parenthood before I was of age, when they used to like take me back discreetly without my parents knowing. And then I haven't just tried as much because every time I kind of mention it, they go like, oh, well, you're still young. And it's like, how old do I have to be? Do I have to be bordering menopause before you guys will do this for me? And then I just thought, well, I don't want to go through a surgery and then I have like some downtime where I can't have sex, and on top of that, will that make me more likely to do the stupid thing, which is have unprotected sex with people who aren't Jay and aren't necessarily the safest? Like, will I really just be like, fuck it, I'm not gonna have a baby, which is the worst thing that can happen? No, AIDS is. No, herpes. D-Man D says, question. He always has the best questions. What is your guilty pleasure TV show? Something that is objectively terrible, but you just love. Mine is The Bachelor. Okay, so I think most people would say that it's some kind of reality show, but I don't like reality TV at all. I think it's awful. I tried watching it recently at a friend's house and I was just like, what the fuck is this? I think it was like Big Brother or something that I tried to watch. But it's so obviously fake and not in an entertaining way, so I'm just like, What I do like, however, that might be considered a guilty pleasure is I like shows a lot like iCarly, Victorious, all of those kinds of shows. Drake and Josh, obviously I like things like SpongeBob. I like children's shows or teen shows, and I always love picking up on the adult humor in them and the merit that is behind them. There are some that I don't like I've never liked any of the Miley Cyrus stuff, but there are a few that I absolutely love. Like in Victorious, I think Victorious is the one with Ariana Grande before she was famous, right? Like she was so cute as a little redhead. I loved that show so much. So yeah, those would probably be my guilty pleasure shows. Anything animated or anything on the Disney Channel Nickelodeon side, love that shit. Post in the comments what you guys is, because I know you guys have amazing ones, I'm sure. Jarl Xander says, question. What are your thoughts about dating exes? In the past few weeks, 2 of my exes have expressed interest in dating again, but I'm not too sure. We left on not the best of terms, but not the worst either. Would like to know your thoughts. Personally, I think you shouldn't date exes. I think you broke up for a reason, and if it's not one of those things where you break up and then a year later you're still thinking about them all the time, like they were literally your white rhino that got away from you and you're still madly in love with them, and you've actually logically thought through all the problems that made you break up in the first place and you're willing to work on them or change yourself for them, I wouldn't recommend it. I've never gone back to an ex. In fact, I've stayed in relationships way too long just to not be single, and then I would find someone else, latch onto them as a rebound, and then stick to them for however long, and I think that's unhealthy. I think you should leave relationships, even if it's not on the worst of terms, when you feel like it's not benefiting you anymore, and you should never look back. You guys can be friends in a couple years. You guys can even fucking hook up and have a fling or something. But the reason that you guys actually went through the torturous trauma of going through a breakup in the first place is probably still there. So at least give it a few years or something before you try again to see if you guys have changed and shifted into new people or something. But honestly, it's gonna be rare that that works out, at least favorably. So Robert Stickler has a bunch of questions that we're just gonna run the fuck through. He says, I love this. You have one of the most entertaining channels on YouTube. Aw, you definitely looked like a World War I fighter pilot with that outfit on. Those Goombas were so cool. I really like how you come off as so friendly and approachable and not a stuck-up snobby B-word. I love your cats. Thank you for all of those wonderful assertions. I really am pretty down to earth. I just don't see anything to be snobby or stuck up about. Things that I value are not objective things that everyone else in the world values, and they're not objective things that make the world better. It's just shit that I value. So the fact that people find me attractive, or if I have more money than someone, or I have cool stuff, it doesn't actually mean anything. And I'm so aware of that it kind of keeps my ego in check. Maybe that's why, I don't know. But he said, I have a few questions. What music bands or singers do you like? Pink Floyd is my favorite of all time. Everyone else is Amon Amarth, Lamb of God. There's a bunch of prog bands I like now, like Opeth and fucking Pain of Salvation. I just like a lot of music in the rock genres, like rock, metal, black metal, death metal, classic rock, alternative rock, just heavy rock stuff, melodic rock stuff, and then also classic rock stuff I grew up with, like Pink Floyd. What genre of music do you like? I kind of already answered that. Do you have a nice car? I don't really have a car. I have my first car, but she doesn't run very well, and I'm kind of just keeping her because I want to one day fix her up, and I love her so much, and it's a sentimental thing for me, but she's just a regular 95 Saturn. Jay has a pretty nice car, but it's not a super expensive car because it's a rotary, and rotaries have a lot of problems, so it requires a lot of upkeep. But it is a very schnazzy looking car. What are some of your favorite movies? WALL-E, Studio Ghibli films. I like Equilibrium. I used to say that my favorite movie was Wonderland, the Val Kilmer film about the porn star guy that was murdered on Wonderland Street. That was a good one. I like psychological thrillers, good horror movies, which are few and far between. Not really a big fan of chick flicks, romantic comedies, or comedies in general, especially the mainstream ones. I like the older stuff like Airplane and stuff, but Monty Python, Fawlty Towers, stuff like that. I guess those aren't movies, but Monty Python does have movies. Was I popular in school? I went to very weird schools. There wasn't the popular jock cheerleaders and stuff like that. It was more the cool kids that were into rap. I wasn't really into that. So I was popular at some points, but not in the traditional way that you would think that you would see in movies or something. And sometimes not for the right reasons. When I was in elementary school, end of elementary school and middle school, I was called a slut often. And then at the end of high school, a lot of people hated me, but they also voted me most likely to become famous. So I don't know. What is your biggest fear in life? Losing Jay or Eve? Do you ever shop at Target? Yes, all the time. Lol, I've worked there for 11 plus years. Oh, that's cool. Also, what are your favorite foods? I like bread and cheese a lot. Quesadillas, fucking grilled cheese sandwiches, really plain ass sandwiches with just cheese and extra mayo. I'm in love with Chipotle mayo and ranch right now, so I have that shit with everything. I'll have like veggie burgers. I am like vegetarian, but not like strictly, so I'll have stuff sometimes. Sometimes I'm vegan, it doesn't matter to me, just I eat whatever, but mostly vegetarian. I hope that answers your question. I'm not one of those people that likes to go out to really fancy schmancy restaurants because for me, that food is just worse. I would rather have more processed food that's not necessarily as bad for you as like regular processed McDonald's. And when something has too many ingredients in it, like too many different textures or flavors in one item that I can't identify, it really creeps me out and makes me grossed out. So I am kind of a picky eater. Like if I go somewhere out with friends and they want to go to like a fancy restaurant where it's like fancy Asian food or something, I end up like getting something that sounds okay, and then it has like too much ginger or something in it. I'm like, ugh, and then I can't eat anything, and then I end up just wishing I had some fucking French fries or something. All right, that went on a little too long. We have 2 more questions and then we're done. Let me know if you like this. This is fun. It's like rapid fire questions. Probably easier to edit a little bit than a regular Friday Night Mail, but maybe not. We'll see. Robbie Morris says, are you into Native Americans? Why or why not? Yes. A hot, stereotypical Native American is a type of guy I've always wanted to fuck. Think the one hot Native American guy in Beyond Two Souls. That guy was hot. I was gunning for what's-her-face to fuck him real bad. Or like John Redcorn or something. I am the Nancy to John Redcorn for sure. And then Jay is totally like the way hotter and better Dale who isn't getting cucked. Last question is from John Pietro. He says, you are stunning. How do you maintain a long distance relationship? We've been dating for a long time. I just want to know how to keep it going more. I am wholly against long distance relationships that aren't open. I think if you're gonna be in a long distance relationship, you can't be in a monogamous relationship. It just doesn't work. It's not fair to the 2 people. There's gonna be a lot of mistrust, a lot of jealousy, a lot of just drama, and not being able to actually create a lasting bond that persists for a long time. If you're the kind of person that's really asexual or you just wanna have a companion, then maybe it can work out. But for me, it would never work out for me to actually be long distance with a person. Allowing that person to claim me for what is ostensibly life without having the closeness and one of the aspects of sexuality fulfilled, which is being able to have sex regularly and being close regularly and actually getting to know a person on a day-to-day basis rather than just talking to them. Like, I've made a lot of really close friends through just talking to someone online. That's basically how I meet all of my like potential guys that I fuck or like closer friends. I always meet them online, even like as someone who doesn't go out much and as someone who spends a lot of time online gaming or doing online stuff or talking to people through DMs, which I don't do that often, but sometimes I do if it's someone that I'm really interested in or like one of my longtime followers or something, or talking on Discord. I build friendships, like best friendships that way, but you don't know what kind of person the person's gonna be when you are stressed out in a really stressful situation or you guys have been together 24/7 for like 3 or 4 days. You don't know how they handle certain like really relevant things, and it's not just about the sex. So I would say don't commit to a person long distance unless you've already had that before and you know the distance is gonna be closed soon. Or just keep it open and see where things go, and maybe one day you guys will move closer and you guys can actually work it out. But until then, keep it open. Don't pledge yourself to someone you really know nothing about because you've never had that closeness. That's my opinion. Obviously, you can do whatever you want, but if you want to keep it going, I would say invest in stuff like this. Spicy shit that can spice up your sexuality. Do FaceTime fucking sex. Play video games. That's the biggest one. Playing online video games is what keeps me friends with some people. Like Red, for instance. I mean, I'll text Red and I'll send pictures to Red and we'll talk a little bit, but online gaming is what keeps us friends. Same with Cold But Kind, Brandon, and a lot of other people I've met online. It's just all about the gaming. And it's the best way to non-awkwardly have long conversations with people. All right, guys, I love you so much. Thank you for watching. Once again, thank you to Favel for sponsoring this video. I said that a little weird, sponsoring this video. I appreciate it. This is really cool, and that male masturbator down on the floor is exceptionally technological. It actually freaks me out a little bit. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope it was as fun to watch as it was for me to film, and a lot funner than it will be for me to edit, because I should get an editor, but I'll lose a lot of my creative voice, you know? Because I say things or I'll parse things out a certain way and I'll know exactly how I want to edit it. And I'm just too afraid to lose a lot of my voice if I hand all that footage over to an editor. And it has to be someone I can trust because they have all of my unedited footage and they can edit things together to make it look crazy. I don't know. But yeah, I love you guys so much. Thank you so much for the support, the continued support, or if you're new here, welcome to the fucking channel. Like the video, subscribe, check out our links to our sponsors in the description, as well as signing up for this week's F&M giveaway, which we do every single F&M week. Sometimes there won't be an F&M week. And ask me questions down in the comments, literally anything. Follow-up questions to this, it doesn't matter, just fucking ask me. I am an open book and I am here to tell you what I think open-endedly so you can do with it as you will. You guys are wonderful, and I will see you in the next video. Mwah!